brain to be processed, or it doesn't. It switches down and doesn't let the information from our own senses come into our brain in favor of survival. So literally, second by second, moment by moment, we each have a unique experience of life, depending on our experience in childhood. And so one thing I really try to promote is creating environments that are psychologically safe and physically safe and emotionally safe and relationally safe, enough to ask, what was your experience of that last 15 minutes? We are surprised when we hear the array of experience. And as we get better and better at asking, we'll get better and better at understanding what we need to improve that experience in ways that help parents. So I want to give you a couple of examples. You may be familiar with this information, but not know how people are implementing it. So one is at a crisis nursery. The crisis nursery staff noticed that parents were bringing their children in for what the staff felt were small things. And they were supposed to bring their children in for a major crisis instead of leaving their child at home alone. And when the nursery staff heard this information and understood how people process stress, they said, we've got to change what we do. We're going to have a dual generation focus, working both with the mom or dad and the child. We're going to have to understand that stress is affecting this household in a different way, which might mean stress is affecting the mom and the dad and the extended family differently, and also the child differently. And they put in place a completely new set of curriculum for both the mom and the dad, for that generation, and for the babies. And now, children, when they enter school, who used to not be able to cope with a school environment, have their calming songs. And the kindergarten teachers know which kids are coming with calming songs, and they can create a sphere for themselves in which they can be calm. And parents have social networks that understand how to step in and be helpful when that stress goes up in the family. Our corrections officers, who are now being trained to be part of the prison system, and our police officers are now being trained with some of this neurobiology in Washington. And the reason is that when one of the lead trainers found that the auditory cortex can actually be smaller in people who've experienced a lot of toxic stress, he realized that all of their instruction had been verbal. So now it's changed. All instruction happens writing, verbal, and kinesthetically. So if we're saying come to an appointment, we would open this door, walk to the window, and actually point where we were going to come and meet the next time we see each other. And then the last, some of you probably know this story about Lincoln High School, which is an alternative high school in Walla Walla. When they understood that stressed brains really can't learn, and they also can't have a calm conversation about what just happened. When there's an emotional spike, we stay in that emotional realm. If we've had a lot of stress, toxic stress in our early childhood, we might stay there quite a while before we can have a rational conversation about what just happened and what should be the consequence. So they changed their discipline policy. Now, every single time there's an emotional spike that could create a discipline situation, adults in the school always look at this target. Those targets are all around the school. And they're asking themselves, asking the adult first, what is my emotional state? Am I in the red? In which case, I can't talk to this kid right now. He just swore at me and pulled out a knife, or whatever it was that occurred. I can't do it. I'm emotionally spiked. And they say that. Or I'm in the yellow, so I could make an appointment in an hour. I'm in the green, I could talk. And then they ask the young person, where are you? And the act of reflecting on one's emotional state actually lights up a different part of the brain and helps people learn mindfulness right in the midst of a difficult situation. So now what happens is you wait the appropriate period of time until both the young person and the adult are in the green. And then young people often have great solutions to the problem. Sometimes they're punitive solutions for themselves, and sometimes they're constructive solutions about changing the environment in the school. So I've just given you some information about the neuroscience, which is a study of individuals and individual brains and their responses to stress during development. And now I'm going to switch gears to